Hello, I'm Kelly Bridges, an American citizen, student, and occasional internet and social media user. Social media and the internet has become an integral part of our lives and has gone from its early days of being considered a frivolous extra expense to a necessary utility in day-to-day life. With the development of online banking, shopping, doing taxes, paying bills, communication, it's all online. Aside from paying for internet and Wi-Fi access, we typically consider just visiting sites on the internet to be a completely free, private, and safe activity for just about anyone to do. But certain information that has recently come to light suggests otherwise. People like former NSA employee Edward Snowden and educational shows like Adam Ruins Everything have spread revolutionary modern truths that have really got me thinking, and I think you should be too. Should the government be able to track and monitor citizens' activities online without their consent? Should for-profit companies be able to collect and sell data on everything you do on the internet without your consent? What can be done about this new invasive information situation? Or is this even a bad thing? So, where do I even start? Well, first, let me ruin social media for you. First and foremost, free websites, Facebook, Twitter, the whole shebang. Have you ever asked yourself, why are they free? I mean, where do they get the money to pay the people to manage the site? What do they get out of providing you this free service? You might say, ad revenue, and for the most part, that's true. Free websites are paid by companies in exchange for ad space, but what you might not know is that you're actually paying for these websites.
Your very lives.
Okay, maybe not exactly your lives, but you are selling them your very identity. Now, I can't explain it any better than Mr. Adam Conover from his show Adam Ruins Everything. Here's a clip from the episode Adam Ruins the Internet.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice, Tumbling down the rabbit hole.
Wait, do you still think Matrix parodies are cool?
Yes. Look around you, Mitchell. This is the free internet. We do everything here. We connect with friends on Facebook, search for information on Google, and all of it's free.
Yeah, free. Wait, actually, how do these sites make money?
I'll tell you, but you may not like where the rabbit hole goes.
So, do I choose a pill, or?
Oh, no, these are my allergy medications. This one's for pollen, and this one's for lactose.
Where are we? What is this place?
This is the internet of the real. The truth is, these services aren't free at all. You pay for them with your very identity. When you use Facebook, they log everything you do. The pages you like, the people you interact with, even the words in your status updates. Then they take that information, analyze it, and assemble a detailed profile of who you are. They know your habits, your preferences. They can even determine your risk tolerance or sexual orientation. And then they sell that information to advertisers.
One risk-taking homosexual, please.
It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Wait, how do they know? I'm not even out at work yet.
Hey, I didn't know you were gay. And so adventurous.
That's not a hypothetical. This actually happened to a woman in Tampa.
That is problematic, but come on, we all know they're showing us ads.
Yeah, but we don't know how deep Facebook's tentacles really go. They actually record which ads we see, then partner with firms that monitor what we do in the real world.
Jacob liked the page Bacon is Bay last week. We showed him an ad for your double bacon heart attack burger. He just bought one in Duluth.
Clearly susceptible to the campaign. Let's pump them full of ads.
I guess I got room for one more.
This has got to be one of the most invasive advertising systems ever devised. Facebook can actually determine who's the most vulnerable to an ad campaign, then up their dosage till they buy even more.
Oh, my heart.
Well, I'll simply delete my Facebook account. I'm gonna miss those ex-girlfriend pictures, but it's worth it not to be tracked, right?
Sure, you can quit Facebook, but good luck escaping Google.
That's me. But I'm not even on Google. I'm on a private website.
Exactly. Google doesn't just track you when you search. Their tracking software is also installed on over 10 million websites, even medical sites. So that health info you think you're looking up in private, Google's got a front row seat.
Mitchell has erectile dysfunction. I know a drug company that would get rock hard for that information.
And that's not all. Every time you write a Gmail, watch a YouTube video, or use Google Maps, Google collects data about you.
God, no.
We don't even know the full extent of what Facebook and Google store or what they do with it. All we know is that they're collecting our data on an unprecedented scale and making billions off of it. That's their real business model. They're monetizing us. When we use these sites, we're not the customer, we're the product.
Why? How?
Hello, Mitchell. I've been waiting for you.
Now you're parodying the second Matrix movie?
What? It's the best one. Mitchell, this is Ethan Zuckerman. He's the director of the MIT Center for Civic Media.
Mitchell, the fact that the sites are free is the problem. When the web was created, we, the users, decided we would rather have free stuff than pay money for the services we used. As a result, the websites have had to sell ads to make money. They target ads to us based on our preferences and our behavior online. And that means we're under constant surveillance in exchange for these services that we get for free.
1 in 6 people on Earth now has a Facebook account, and they make up 20% of all time spent online.
That's 1.6 billion people whose every move is being tracked by an online big brother that they chose to live under.
No.
And here's the kicker. You want to know how much revenue your personal data is worth to Facebook? For every user they surveil, they make just $12.
No.
Your interests, your personality, your relationships, your privacy, those things are priceless. But you gave them all away just to avoid paying $12.
No, that can't be. That's not possible.
Well, there is a bright side. You want to hear about it?
No. No, shut up, shut up, let me out!
He's gonna pop.
Let me out! I want to get out!
You know, this happens to all my friends.
Pretty scary, right? You're trading yourself and you don't even realize it, but here's the kicker. It's not just private internet companies that are constantly watching your every online footstep. Oh no, you can bet the American government has its eyes on you as well. You've probably heard of it before, the old conspiracy that the NSA is watching everything we do on the internet, Big Brother and all that, but it's not just a conspiracy theory anymore. It's cold hard fact. You may have saw on the news in 2011, a former NSA administrator, a man named Edward Snowden, exposed classified documents and alerted the public to the truth that the NSA was in fact monitoring what any and everybody is doing through the internet, public and private. So they're not just monitoring what you post, they're monitoring your private chat logs, everything. In the 2016 movie, Snowden, it told of these events in vivid dramatized detail, as seen here in these clips from said movie that tells the story of Mr. Edward Snowden and his chronicle of getting involved in the NSA and how he decided to reveal the truth about what the government has really been doing.
What I will be providing you and the fine gentleman of the Secret Service is a list of every threat made about the president since February 3rd, and a profile of every threat maker.
And these are, like, existing targets?
Like 99% are going to come from the bulk collection program, so upstream muscular tempora prism.
Prism?
You got a little Snow White in you. Which makes me feel like the witch bringing you a poison apple. Here. Exhibit A. Oakland resident Justin Pinsky posted on a message board. Romania has a storied history of executing their leaders. Couldn't they do us a solid and take out Bush? Oh, this looks juicy. This is from a G-chat.
How is this all possible?
Keyword selectors. Attack, take out, Bush. So think of it as a Google search, except instead of searching only what people make public, we're also looking at everything they don't. So emails, chats, SMS, whatever.
Yeah, but which people?
The whole kingdom, Snow White. It's the cleanest Pakistani I've ever seen. We got no first-degree ties to government or ISI, no shady family. I mean, second-degree contacts are off the charts, but that's everyone in the Middle East with a six-figure income.
Well, it's not dirt that we need necessarily. It's a pressure point, something intimate, some kind of weakness. Can we look through his family?
Mm-hmm. How about his sister-in-law?
Yeah. What is that? Is that some video that she sent somebody?
No, this is live. Out of Paris.
What do you mean live?
Optic nerve? It's camera and mic activation. I wish we could take credit, but the Brits wrote it.
Activation?
Yeah, her laptop's off. Or it was, she just forgot to close it. Of course, how would she know? This shit is so sly, the webcam light doesn't even turn on. I always wonder what was under those.
It was a welcome change when they put me on terrorism watch duty. Every day, I'd go in and I'd get starting points for SIGINT, which is signals intelligence. A lot of them were American, which felt strange, but you just keep reminding yourself, I could stop a dirty bomb attack and save thousands of lives. Thing is, you're not just following your bad guy targets, you're also following their metadata, which is basically all the phone numbers that they're in touch with. Let's say your target is a shady Iranian banker operating out of Beirut. Okay, so you're watching his stuff, but you're also watching all the people that he talks to, including, you know, his cousin who's just some dentist living in Buffalo. And then you have to watch all of that guy's contacts. And by the time you go a third hop out from the original target, you're watching this bartender chat with her mother about Botox. Because 3 hops from anyone with, say, 40 contacts, you're looking at a list of 2.5 million people. And there's that moment when you're sitting there and the scale of it hits you. The NSA is really tracking every cell phone in the world. No matter who you are, every day of your life, you're sitting in a database, just ready to be looked at. Not just terrorists or countries or corporations, but you.
Essentially, the government justifies the NSA secretly monitoring us in the name of national security and to stop terrorist attacks. Seems legit, but Edward Snowden states, while being interviewed on an episode of TED Talks in 2014, that there is not a shred of evidence that the NSA's monitoring programs have ever stopped a single terrorist attack.
But they've made a calculation that it was worth doing this as part of America's defense against terrorism. Surely that makes it a price worth paying.
Well, when you look at the results of these programs stopping terrorism, you'll see that that's unfounded. And you don't have to take my word for it, because we've had the first open court, the first federal court that's reviewed this outside of sort of the secrecy arrangement, called these programs Orwellian and likely unconstitutional. The Congress, who has access to be briefed on these things and now has the desire to be, has produced bills to reform it. And 2 independent White House panels who reviewed all of the classified evidence said these programs have never stopped a single terrorist attack that was imminent in the United States. So is it really terrorism that we're stopping? Do these programs have any value at all? I say no, and all 3 branches of the American government say no as well.
The government does all of this in the name of protection against terrorism, but the government just said that there is no evidence of it ever doing anything of the sort. In this post 9/11 era we live in, the word terrorism has become a fear-inducing word. It's become a sort of legal scapegoat that seems to somehow justify the NSA going and doing these things secretly under Congress's nose and blatantly lying about doing these things to the American people, which is unconstitutional, and doing all of this just in the name of national security. When people get scared, we give up a lot of rights, and that allows for politicians and people in power to take advantage of that fear to push their own agenda. The American people does not and cannot keep these programs and politicians properly in check as the Constitution outlines we are supposed to do if the media and our government is feeding us lies and keeping huge things such as invading our privacy a secret. Now, before I give you the positive takeaway, and I promise there is one, I feel the need to bring one last thing to attention. Perhaps I'm playing devil's advocate here, but is private companies profiting off of you really a bad thing? Now, before you say anything, in my opinion, yes, in the sense where they're profiting off of us without our consent. But then I go on one of my favorite webcomic sites, Tapastic. It's a free website where any online comic artist can put their work on it for free. And yes, it does have a small amount of out-of-the-way ads, but something I really find interesting and really enjoy about it is its coin tipping system, where you can choose to watch ads to earn coins that translate to a certain amount of actual currency. And with those coins, you can choose to tip whatever creators you want for free. And the best part is, you choose to do it. But now, what does this have to do with my topic? Well, in my opinion, this is a marvelous system, and I think this could be the start of change in online revenue systems. Instead of forcing unavoidable and annoying ads on site viewers and using that way to collect money for the site, it works hand in hand with the convenience of choice for the user, as well as paying the artists for their content that brings users to the site in the first place. It's sites like Tapastic, Patreon, and YouTube that are phenomenal resources to promote business economy online. And it does it in a way that a lot of sites don't. It gives users choice. You can choose to buy or watch ads in exchange for coins on Tapastic. You can choose to watch ads on YouTube or get YouTube Red for a fee in exchange for ad-free content. On Patreon, you can choose to donate money to artists to fund content hundreds of fans enjoy. I truly believe that it's systems like this that give the internet users choice to set the precedent of how revenue works online is the future. People can still make a living online while working hand in hand with users of sites like these. Website profiting doesn't have to be a shady, underhanded deal if you just work with users on better, more preferable revenue systems that give the users choice. So, the positive takeaway. All of this monitoring and profiting and collecting information about you by the government and Google and Facebook and all of this internet invasion all sounds, admittedly, really scary. And it is. You might think there's nothing you can do, it all seems pointless, and then, soon we'll all be slaves to the internet and corporations and the government just to manipulate and profit off of, but that actually isn't the case. Something that people need to know is that you have the power to shape and change what we want our internet to be. We've done it before, and we can do it again. In the episode Adam Ruins the Internet, Adam also had this to say.
The goose, it was just a dream.
Oh, good, you're awake.
No, get me out of the internet, okay? Google, Facebook, the cable companies, they all have way too much power. The internet's ruined, and there's no way to stop it.
Are you kidding? Of course there is.
How? I'm not Keanu. I'm not the one.
You don't have to be.
We can all do it together by using the power of the internet itself. In 2015, the cable companies were trying to do away with net neutrality. That's the principle that all data on the internet is treated equally. But instead, they wanted a system where rich sites could pay for faster service, while sites without money would get screwed.
That's awful.
That's what a lot of other people thought too. But instead of staying silent, they used the internet to communicate with the FCC and their politicians and raise their voices. More than 4 million Americans wrote in to protect the internet they love. And as a result of all that political pressure, the FCC changed direction. All those people made that happen. When you act collectively to ensure the protection of the internet, things change.
And we can do the same with Facebook and Google. We can demand more accountability for what these sites do with our data. And we can vote with our dollars by paying for sites that put our interests first. Wow. Instead of being ashamed or scared of the internet, we should use the internet to raise our voices and fight for a better one.
Exactly. We don't have to wait around for the one. We can all be superheroes now.
Thanks, Adam. Let me.
This isn't just about fighting ads. This is a civic responsibility. Legal issues on the internet are easy to ignore and overlook just because you can't always see it happening, but that doesn't make them any less serious of issues. The internet is our future. We have to take care of it, or else one day it really will be out of our hands, and our children will have to suffer the consequences. The question is, what are we gonna do about it?
Because it seems to me that the debate around you doesn't split along traditional political lines. It's not left-right, it's not really about pro-government, libertarian, or not just that. Part of it is almost a generational issue. You're part of a generation that grew up with the internet, and it seems as if you become offended at almost a visceral level when you see something done that you think will harm the internet. I mean, is there some truth to that?
It is. You know, I think it's very true. This is not a left or right issue. You know, our basic freedoms, and when I say our, I don't just mean Americans, I mean people around the world. It's not a partisan issue. These are things that all people believe in, and it's up to all of us to protect them. And to people who have seen and enjoyed a free and open internet, it's up to us to preserve that liberty for the next generation to enjoy. And if we don't change things, If we don't stand up to make the changes we need to do to keep the internet safe, not just for us, but for everyone, we're going to lose that. And that would be a tremendous loss, not just for us, but for the world.